like gaming. Well, I do too. That's just what he do. He's not a professional. He's just country gamer, dude.
Look at there. I've got 3 pictures on the wall. I'm getting close to professional. All right, let's get into it. Fanboyism. I bet this is a topic that everybody wants to hear. Well, I've been a fanboy. I've been a toxic fanboy. So, that didn't happen until I was in my 20s. You know, when I was a kid growing up, being a teenager, you know, I never got into the whole my system is better than your system. I hope your system dies. Fuck you. I never did any of that until I got older. And it was during the Xbox One announcement and the PS4 announcement. I think that's when, oh, hold on. I gotta put this on to smell good for the video, you know. You smell me? I hope I smell good, because I sure as hell don't look good. But anyway, so yeah, when the Xbox One dropped with all those features that you had to keep, you know, you had to always be online. You had to hook up that fucking Connect. It was looking like you couldn't use pre-owned games. The damn box looked like a VCR. I think a lot of people that hate Xbox now started hating them then. Like, they chose the PS4 over the Xbox One because of all the bullshit, and I did too. And that set in some kind of angst, some kind of hatred towards Xbox that just kind of bubbled up, you know, and it became this whole bubble of hate, and I was stuck in the middle of it, and I couldn't pop it. I couldn't get out because, you know, I was so pissed about that announcement. And even though they walked back all those changes, it took me 2 or 3 years to even start playing Xbox again. And, you know, and then I look back and I was like, holy hell, you know, that was a toxic mindset to have just because this one video game company did something really bad at one point that I really didn't like. And finally, you know, you start playing it, and then you start realizing, hey, it's pretty damn good, you know, this Xbox console. And my bubble popped. Not my cherry, but yeah, once that popped and I started playing, you know, the newer Halos and the newer Gears, and just, you know, popping in my old 360 games into it and being able to play it, you know, that really let me know, like, there's no reason to keep hating Xbox and this company. So, you know, I started to try to keep all the brands, if I could, all at once, because I knew that if I just have one, I'll start to get biased towards that one system and look at the other one with some kind of like it's somebody insulting what I got. Like, how dare you? You need this and don't get that because I only have this. And my corporation is better than your corporation. And it's a mind fuck. It's a hard prison to get out of. But once you break free and you start looking at all the other inmates, the whole fanboy world, you know, and I say fanboys, but it's okay to be a fanboy for a system and mean like you love it. Like, you're gonna overlook a lot of shit just because you love this brand. And I get that. That's fine to be that kind of fanboy. But once you start going hoping the competition dies, like, I hope your console fails. I hope your games don't sell. I hope they go away forever. Like, what kind of mindset is that for you to hate a video game company who's just making video games to go away, to hate on them, you know? And now there is so much fanboy content, you know, just for the toxicity of it. It's wild. And I've been in that bubble. I was on message forums, message forums around the early days saying, you shouldn't get this, you should get that because they did this and they're doing that. And people need to realize that all these video game companies, they just want your money. They just want your money. And they're gonna try to pull you to their one spot and keep you there. Or that's how it used to be. Now again, that's why I really love Xbox now, is because I can boot it up on my Series X, go upstairs, boot up my Series S, or my streaming handheld. I can remote play from my Series consoles. I can play it through the cloud. If I happen to buy a game that's play anywhere, I can play it on a PC. All my save data just, you know, it's there. I do not have to think about it. And that's why I finally started to love Xbox a whole lot more. And that don't mean I hate PlayStation, because I have a massive library on PlayStation for games that are still not on Xbox. Like, a lot of the Star Ocean games are not even on Xbox at all. And I love those games. I know the first one, First Departure, is not. The second Evolution, it's not. I think some of the 360 games are, or The Last Hope is, but it's just a 360 version, not the remastered one. Triangle Strategy is not on Xbox. There's so many things, you know. I want everything. I think every game belongs everywhere, you know. And a lot of people hate hearing that, because they say, well, what's the point in buying the console if you don't have exclusives? And to me, there's only one company that has exclusives, and that's Nintendo, okay? And right now, I'm not interested in getting the Nintendo Switch 2. Not out of some fanboy shit. Just there's not a game for me that really screams, get this system now. Now, when they drop a new Zelda, you know, I'm gonna find my way to get one. I probably won't buy one brand new. I'll look on Facebook Marketplace and try to find one like that. But you know, I wasn't a fanboy until that E3 presentation with Don Matrick saying, well, if you can't buy this or use this for the internet, here's the 360. And I think that poisoned a lot of our brains and a lot of our gaming hearts. Like, this is not consumer friendly. This is batshit fucking insane and stupid. Like, you know, I used to live in an area where I had no access to the internet whatsoever. So at the time I was like, what's the fucking point? I can't play this, and I have to go to my friend's house and log in just to have access to the games, and then go home, have to come back to his house and check in. I was like, fuck no, I'm done with you. I'm done with Xbox. And I think a lot of people were like that. You know, I think they were like, no, I'm never gonna be a part of your system again. Now, I felt the same way about PlayStation a bunch, especially this generation. I don't hate them, but I just don't. I think they've lost their way. I do. I think PlayStation has lost their way. You know, we all love single player games. I think, you know, and I know most of them is third person, you know, action games, and, you know, follow the notification to the next story bit and watch a cutscene for 20 minutes. You know, they're still pretty great games, but they're concentrating all on live service stuff now. And there's too fucking many of them. Like, you expect people to put hundreds of hours into these live service games and pay off for the microtransactions all the time. No. You know, I play Fortnite sometimes. I'll play Warzone sometimes. I used to play Destiny, but I got out of it. It's a fucking hamster wheel, you know, and the only thing you get out of it is tired. You know, I've had some amazing moments with it, but, you know, live service just, it's not really for me anymore, you know? And I think PlayStation needs to get back to their ways. I'm sure they're making a new God of War. I'm sure they're making a new Horizon. Hopefully they're making a new Killzone, because I like Killzone. But yeah, and I understand that they can't make all the money they need off single player games. You know, there's a cap of how much money you can make off sales. That's why they remaster everything. But yeah, I got off track. But fanboyism it's so bad. It's so bad that there is a whole industry of money being made covering these fucking mental patients. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but I think they need help. I think they need clinical help, or maybe a therapist who understands gaming and be like, son, ma'am, stop. Are you fucking insane? Like, look, enjoy games. You can have your favorites, but to go out and wish for the downfall of a whole gaming section just because you don't like them, it's wild to me. It's wild to me. And you know, I've been gaming since like 1988. As soon as I could play T-ball, I was playing. I started, you know, Atari, but I mainly played on, you know, the NES. And I never felt that. You know, my friends had Sega, and I wasn't mad, and I wasn't like, you should get this. I was excited to play it. And I don't know what happened to that feeling for everybody. Like, not everybody can buy every single system and enjoy every single game. Not everybody's super rich or has all the time in the world to play these games. So, you know, I just don't get it. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that I stepped away and I had that bubble popped, that I could see all of gaming. I could see the bullshit of PlayStation, the bullshit of Xbox, the bullshit of Nintendo, PlayStation, all of them, Steam, everything in gaming, you know, especially mobile gaming. You know that's a whole different conversation. But if you're a fanboy and you're watching this, and like you're going around YouTube looking and searching for other people who hate the same thing you hate, that's a fucking echo chamber of madness. Like, just stop doing it. Step back. It's not that fucking serious. Have fun. Have joy in gaming. Call out the bullshit from everybody. Like, don't just overlook this because that's my system, that's my stuff. I'm overly personally attached due to nostalgia for this, so I'm gonna hate this like it's an attack on my grandma making me fucking cookies that I love to eat. Just stop. It's batshit insane. And that was my story. That's when I became a fanboy. Not just fanboy, a toxic fanboy, where I went out of my way to tell people, don't buy this. It's shit. Like, oh, they made the changes so you don't have to do that. It's still shit. Buy this. This is still better. You know, it's crazy. I think somebody smart needs to start defining and characterizing fanboyism as a mental health condition, a negative one. Like, start enjoying things. If you look at a game and say, hey, I kind of would enjoy that, but I'm not going to allow myself to because I hate that company and I built my whole personality on hating that. It just doesn't make sense, you know. It doesn't. You know, I can go and play God of War, have a good time, you know, go to the Xbox and play Gears, or all the other library that I have. Game Pass is fucking insanely good. Nintendo, I'm waiting for the new Zelda. 3D Mario would be cool, but Zelda's a franchise that I kinda don't miss. I kinda always get it. Even if some of them aren't as good as others, I'm going to get it. And, I think people should enjoy games. What's wrong with enjoying a little slice of all the pie? Why try to eat this slice, be hungry for the other slices, but pull yourself away from the table and say, this is my slice, this is all I'm gonna eat. There's more to the pie, but fuck it. This is my slice and that's all I care about. A lot of fanboyism does come from they can't afford, or they don't, they can't afford all the systems. I think I've already said that, but there is that thing where like you're able to afford this and you're playing on this, and you build up some kind of connection, some kind of personal feeling for that brand, the logos, the symbols, the colors, everything. It's just not healthy. If I can get to one fanboy, and say, stop, I'm still looking over here and the fucking camera's here. Stop being a fanboy. Boy. I'm not funny. I'll try to be. Maybe somebody will find it entertaining, but I'm not. I'm just me. I'm just a country gamer dude, But yeah, fanboyism, the toxicity of it. I can't talk. I speak in banjo. You won't listen to me play. Toxicity. Find yourself a vaccine for the disease that's infecting your brain and heart towards areas of gaming that you would actually love, that you would actually enjoy, if you just find some way or someone to stick that little pin needle in your bubble and fucking pop it and enjoy gaming. Stop being a fanboy. Like, I was there for half a decade. I was entrenched. I was batshit insanely hateful towards Xbox. And now I absolutely love Xbox. The entire platform is exciting for me. And I hope PlayStation follows suit. Make a launcher for PC. Put your single player games on Xbox and on Nintendo, and on PC. Xbox is already, putting their games everywhere for anybody to buy and enjoy. And fanboys want to use that as some kind of an own or a diss. I don't get it. Since when is being consumer friendly a bad thing? They're entrenched in this archaic console war that doesn't exist. It doesn't. You make most of your money through software and subs and microtransactions now. And the people who want to say, well, PlayStation won this console war over Xbox because they sold more systems, if that's true and that was great for Sony, why in the hell are they still trying to make live service games? Like, I don't know, 20? Half of them canceled or even more, and they're still going for it. They want that revenue. And at the end of the day, it's about money. It's not about consoles. It's about money. And the gaming world is evolving. And I really think that people try to play everything. Find you a game or two that you like over here. Just try the OS, just try the UI, try the systems, the controller, okay? Find a way to try this, a game, everything. Envelop yourself into the ecosystem of gaming. Stop being, I'm still looking this way. Okay, I'll try to fucking work on this. Enjoy gaming, all of it. Stop being a fanboy, and if you know a fanboy, try to find that weakness to say, hey, you are fucking insane, stop it. Just stop it. But yeah, my journey, my fanboyism started during the awful Xbox presentation of the VCR Xbox, Don Madrick, you know, and I'm glad they walked it back, but that really soured, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, that soured and made people hate that brand, that logo, everything to do with it. They're like, you know, it was poison. It was one of their worst decisions ever, you know, and I feel like Phil Spencer saved Xbox. He knew the writing on the wall of the future of gaming. It's not about one plastic box. It's about the platform. It's about getting to as many gamers as possible. They're still gonna make hardware. They just, you know, announced the Ally. I already made a video on it, but PlayStation, Nintendo, put them everywhere. Give gamers everything. I don't care if it's a little, like, time the exclusive, and then put it everywhere. You know, Xbox saying, fuck it, we're just gonna throw our games everywhere day one. You can play it on our Game Pass for a subscription. You know, all of our 100 games, all of our first party games, here you go. Game Pass, there's incentive to have our hardware. PlayStation, Nintendo, you know, if you want our games, cool, buy them. Like, they're there for you. If you want them, buy them. To me, that's a perfect strategy. To me, Xbox is leading the way on how gaming should be for everyone. And you know, I'm rambling. You know, I don't have a script or anything. You know, I'm brand new to this. You know, I'm just a hillbilly who loves games and always have. But yeah, if you have any fanboy stories or, you know, thoughts on this, you know, let me know. But yeah, I'm glad I'm out of the whole fanboy shit. You know, I still get bits of, no, I don't call it fanboyism or toxicity. When a gaming company fucks up, you tell them. You know, if they're your favorite, if you've spent, you know, half your life loving them, if they fuck up and do something stupid, don't make excuses for them. Tell them, hey, you fucked up, okay? I love you, but hey, look, you fucked up, okay? Get back on track, you know. Keep it between the mustard and the mayonnaise, all right? We're going this way. Quit swerving. All right, anyway, I'll try to keep making videos. Y'all proud of me? I got 3 fucking things on the wall now, even though this whole room still echoes. But yeah, I'll keep trying. If not, I'll just keep making these videos. Maybe it's old ass YouTube style, filmed on a fucking phone. I don't have any audio equipment. I don't lighting equipment. You know, I'm just in a fucking empty bedroom. But you know, maybe I'll like this. But yeah, that was my fanboy journey. I would love to hear yours. And if you are a fanboy, just listen, fucking quit. Just stop. Okay. Enjoy gaming. All right. Later.